Home prices have never been more expensive. Is now the time to buy? Probably not. So that's what we're going to be getting into today. That the major banks are saying now is not the time to buy, as United Nations are begging for the governments not to raise the rates. Let's get into some of the subjects of the day. So we're going to be taking a look at a couple different examples that are out there, a couple articles. The first one I wanted to bring up is the Royal Bank of Canada. Buying a home in Canada has never been more unaffordable, according to the RBC. Now, this is on the dailyhive.com if you'd like to go check it out. Now, if you check out this article, it says if you are hoping to break into the Canadian real estate market, you might want to hold off. According to RBC, it is the most unaffordable markets in the world. A new housing affordability report, according to Robert Hogue, says the chief economist at RBC that these high interest rates have been driving down the ownership numbers in Canada. This is the same as Australia, New Zealand, places like that. The Bank of Canada has raised the interest rates 5 times since March. Now it is sitting at 3.25 before it was at this historically low rate through the health crisis. The article continues that the resulting increase to the cost of mortgage payments combined with a surge in property prices seen over the course of the pandemic have made it more difficult than ever to become a homeowner in Canada. This is some very, very distressing news. So the RBC economist goes on to say that the impact of higher mortgage rates has not fully run the course. Now, I need you guys to understand what that means. The Royal Bank of Canada is saying that the full effects have not taken its full course yet. And this is what I try to tell everybody all the time, is that as interest rates go up, it takes time for that damage to affect the entire market. Just imagine that everybody was told, you got $10,000 from the government instantly. Some people would go spend it the first day. Some people would put it into savings. Some people will spend an extra $100 a month. It takes time for all of that money to disappear. The same is true is if the government's going to be charging you more. Everybody's going to go onto their line of credits, their credit cards, get an extra little job as the economy gets worse and worse, hoping that it will get better, but it will come back to bite them. It always does. The full effect takes 1 to 2 years to really realize itself in the market. I call it sticky categories because they stay around for a long time. You saw that they started money printing heavy in the early 2020, but we didn't even talk about inflation, right? Until a year and a half later when it really showed its ugly face. Same as rents. The prices of homes skyrocketed, right? But it took another year and a half before rents really, really caught up. So the same is true on the decline. When they raise interest rates this high, it's going to have massive implications, but you're not going to see that for up to 2 years. All right, so let's continue on in the rest of the article. This is Royal Bank of Canada is stating the good news, though, is that a widespread market downturn, so put in brackets, massive damage to the market, everyone losing their home. The quote-unquote good news through a massive widespread market downturn is the fact that it will lead to improved affordability. So if we bankrupt millions of people, homes will be cheaper. I'm glad he put brackets around the good news. All right, they expect that prices will fall 14% between next spring and even more in Orlando and BC. That is the average for payments, the average. So this is where, guys, I think that you guys got to be really, really careful in the markets moving forward, okay? Because RBC is in the business of selling money, okay? They want you to borrow. They want to lend you as much as you possibly can handle. And they're saying now's not a good time to buy. That's their business. Guess what, guys? I'm in the business of selling real estate. I'm a real estate broker. I operate all over the greater Toronto area. I don't think this is the time to buy. I'm telling my established clients that I've been with for many, many years, hold off your purchase until next year. Just wait a little bit. Now, of course, the markets are always changing. We're selling homes every single week. But the difference is some people have to move. They have kids. They had a death in the family. Somebody got really sick. Their parents had to go in the hospital. They had to downsize, upsize, millions of reasons. Moving because of jobs from city to city. So we're having to still do transactions all the time, and that's what we're here to do. But I'm telling all of my guys who are doing it for investments to hold off because prices will get really affected. Wait till I show you what is in some of the calculators. Crazy. Okay, so let's continue on a little bit. So he's saying it's going to drop even more than 14% in Ontario and BC, which ironically is where I am. So you guys, I want you to go and look at a calculator. And so as we pull up a calculator, what I'm going to be doing, if you guys are on Instagram or TikTok, you guys can follow me later on. You can go check it out. I'm just at mortgagecalculator.org. And I'm stacking 3 different mortgages next to it. So category 1 is the mortgages that I locked in. So we put an $800,000 mortgage at 1.75%, which is what we locked in last year. And the monthly payment is $3,294. Okay. $3,300, let's call it. At interest rates today, to keep the same payment of $3,300, you could only afford $520,000 home. $800,000 down to $520,000. You lost $280,000 off your purchasing power. People's salaries are not keeping up with this. So it is going to drive home prices way down. By the end of the year, they want to be at a neutral rate between 4.5% and 5%, which means mortgages will be probably hitting 7%. At a 7% mortgage, your same payment of $3,300 per month will be $465,000 on the price of the home. Let's refresh. Last February, you could buy an $800,000 home for a $3,300 payment. By this December, you might be a $460,000 home for a 7% payment. $800,000 down to $465,000. That is a massive drop. That's almost half. And this is what he's saying. The worst is left to come. Okay. The damage that is happening is going to be manifesting itself over the next 2 years. It's going to cause a lot of problems. So everyone keeps asking me, David, when are the interest rates going to go down? How high do you think they're going to go? So which of those 2 questions do you think is a good question? Because how high is it going to go is irrelevant. How long is it going to be there is the damage. So if it goes up to 20% interest like it did in the 80s for 2 months, it's not going to do anything. Everyone's just going to hold off for those 2 months. But guess what everybody I talk to is doing? They're all like, well, I hope things will get sorted out. They're all hoping, okay? And that hope is what can hurt you. So over the long time, if they leave those interest rates at 6-7% for a long time, that's going to smoke a lot of people. I mean, foreclosures all over the place. This is what you want to avoid, right? You also want to be preparing for that. Now, at the end of the day, they got to get a lot of pain in the market to really slow it down and try and get inflation under wraps. Of course, everybody was telling fibs, right? They were all telling little white lies. Don't worry. Inflation is transitory. Don't pay attention to it. We have it all under control, okay? And then all hands go on deck because there's all kinds of danger right now in the market. And what are they going to do? Now they got to like salvage a little self-respect, huh? Hey, why am I doing this? Like the Italians, a little self-respect. So now they're going to keep raising rates. But here's the thing. They want to talk a good game. We will crush inflation. We will bring inflation back to 2% to our goal. Listen, they're talking a good game, but they're also talking smack. It's impossible. If they really were going to get it down that, they would have to have the interest rates at 10, 11%. Okay. And at that rate, we're going to be back in the 1935. We're going to be in the Depression. We have so much debt. Most countries are teetering on 130% debt to GDP right now. Countries can't recover from that amount of debt. They can't afford the interest on that amount of debt. So I think they're going to end up turning back, but they're not going to turn back until the damage has been done. So this is where I want you guys to be really, really careful. Now, let's continue. Let's go on to another thing. So just to summarize, that calculator is so important to see when interest rates went from 1.75 to what they're projected to be 7% at the end of the year. You go from an $800,000 house to a $465,000 house with the same payment, $3,300 each payment. Remember, people's salaries aren't going up, so go play with a calculator. You need to know this stuff. Now, as far as the Bank of Canada is concerned, the Bank of Canada is coming out, and this is the exact title: more rate hikes needed to cool inflation, according to the Bank of Canada. Crazy. All right, so let's look at some of the most expensive real estate on earth, because Toronto has very, very high up there, but it's not the worst. The worst is Hong Kong, most expensive real estate on earth. It says home prices in the world's most expensive housing market could fall 30%, according to who? Goldman Sachs, a bank. Okay, it says home prices in Hong Kong, the world's most expensive housing market, could fall 30% by the end of next year. They blame the rapid decline of the interest rates. 90% of the homes are tied to mortgages right now. So this is going to continue, you guys. And why do I bring up Hong Kong? Most expensive real estate in the world. Why am I bringing up that? Because the more expensive the property, the harder the fall in percentage terms. Of course, in nominal terms, but in percentage terms, the most expensive real estate can fall 30%, whereas the entry-level homes are not going to fall 30%. So that's why I want you guys to be safe, If you operate in the beautiful city of Toronto, give me a call. I can help you out. But if you're anywhere else, go find a realtor who knows what they're doing, you guys, because this has been played over and over and over again. So although a lot of people in their categories who are maybe under my age, they haven't lived through and worked through a big recession like 2009 and 10. They don't know what it's like to get the phone calls of people who are crying on the phone looking to work for food. They don't know what that's like. They don't know what it's like to have many families piled in one unit and home prices in many areas dropping 80, 90%. They've never seen that. So they just don't know how to react. But this is my answer to you. Even though it may be the first time that it's happened to you, it is not the first time this has happened in history. It happens every 5 to 7 years. There has been a recession for a long, long, long time. We're just in a very long period now because of quantitative easing, or AKA money printing. So you guys look at history. Look at what plays out every time. And even if you don't want to look at that, just think about it. As the interest rates go up, the payments come hard and every single month, and people cannot withstand that. We just were reviewing yesterday a survey. 46% of people in Canada are $200 away from insolvency. $200. That's not many months, right? So when we talk to our students, we're telling them, you need to have whatever their case. We build an entire wealth strategy for them, but it may be 3 months emergency supply. Some people have 6, some people have 9. Okay. So maybe you have 3 months to go. Maybe you have 6 months to go. Maybe you have 9 months to go. But nobody has 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of savings just sitting there. They're going to have that invested. So this is going to be a big, big danger to a lot of people. And this is where I want people to be safe. There's a lot of danger that is coming up, and I want you to be safe. So it's crazy. I get a lot of flack online because they say, David, you're a real estate agent. You're a broker. You should be telling everyone to buy now. But that's what every agent is going to tell you. Now is the best time to buy. It drives me crazy. Now is the best time to buy. Now is the best time. They're coming to you for your expertise in the market. And if you don't have an agent who is helping you, you got to get a new agent. It's just my advice. The second most pet peeve thing that I have is that all you got to do is invest in real estate. Even people of my own family, it drives me bananas. I don't care what kind of real estate it is, as long as it's real estate. I don't care if it's a condo, a house, in what city, in what country, as long as it's real estate. Any price either, doesn't matter. They don't care if they overpay, but this to me is very lazy. You have to get into the nitty gritty of the deal. I always say, fall in love with the deal, not with the house, right? Because if you actually understand the math behind it, you'll make much better decisions. We want you to buy the right types of properties. Out of 100 properties, there may only be one that I would offer on. So this is why you got to find the right types of properties to make the right amount of money, the right type of investment. Anyway, you guys, we're here often to try to help you guys out. If you're interested in getting any of our courses, you can send me an email at contact@Rough Team Realty and write courses in the subtitle. You can also, if you're interested in our book, we're taking pre-orders on it. You can go to contact@Rough Team Realty and write book in the contact line. Anyway, you guys, I'm here for your health, wealth, and happiness. I want you guys to do really well, continue crushing it, and be safe out there, you guys, because the next 2 years is going to impact the next 20 years of your life. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope that you stay safe. Please remember to like, follow, and share to the and like just one person that you know. Can you just send it to them if you found any value in at all? Just give me a thumbs up on it. It would really mean a lot. And if you like this stuff, tell me why below in the comments. And if you don't like it, you can let me know as well. I hope that you guys have a very great day. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. And I'll stick around for some questions. Have a great day, everybody. All right, on YouTube, you guys, if you have any questions, you can send it below. I'll try and answer any questions in the TikTok as well. TJ and Akeem, you said, I love my content. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Manny, you said you're going to buy my book. Yeah, very cool. Lionel, you said good advice. Thank you, buddy. You're welcome. I hope that you have a good night. Manny, you're saying get more gold and silver. Nice, buddy. You guys know I love gold and silver all the time. You guys need to have this stuff. You need to be stacking it. If you are going to go hardcore, you got to get something like this, 100 ounces. But be prepared because home prices are going to be on a roller coaster and you're going to be able to buy some real estate at amazing prices. I can't wait. Manny, you're saying you're seeing custom built homes go for cheaper prices now. Very tempting. Absolutely. We just saw a home that was 1.3 million that is now, guess, 875,000. 1.3 million down to 875. This is what I'm trying to tell you. The bigger the price, the harder they're going to fall, right? Entry-level housing is where you're going to be safe. So if you have a larger home, you got to think about selling it. That's why you got to call me. What we do, shameless plug, what we do is we sell homes for a lot more money, a lot faster. And that's our main goal, less hassle. More money, less hassle, and do it faster. After dealing with thousands of clients, that's the three things that it always comes down to. We want more money, we want it faster, and we want less hassle. So if our entire business is built around that, that's what we can help you to do. Thank you guys. Manny, yeah, Kitco. Manny, you bought it through my link. So thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. TJ, you said David, Global News was showing insolvency creditors letters on homeowners' doors. Absolutely. There's a lot of problems that are having there. Roxy 629 on YouTube, you're mentioning that how do you find out the real value of your home? This is where you got to get a good realtor to find the value of your home, because the markets are changing every single day. In some markets in Toronto, there's homes that are not losing any money. There's medium markets that are losing like $2,000 a day. And some of the richer markets are losing $7,000 a day. A day, not a month, a day, which is shocking, right? So we got to be careful. You got to get a really good team behind you. You need to have a good mortgage agent and a good realtor to help you. So I don't know where you are, Roxy. If you're in Toronto, you know, we can help you out. But if you're anywhere else, you got to find a good agent. Montreal Services, is my phone ringing more there for selling homes in Toronto? Yeah, phone's ringing all the time. We try to get people to email contact@Rough Team Realty, just because we got a lot. Oh, I don't have my phone to show you. I'm on it right now, but my phone, I had just this week, I think 8,000 emails. It's too many to cope. Yeah, lots. Roxy, where are you on YouTube? Roxy, are you in Toronto or are you in Vancouver, Canada, the United States? I don't know where anyone ever is. So this is the major problems, you guys, is if we look at last week we had mega news. 3 of the top countries in the world had massive crashes. We had China, Japan, and England all go into absolute collapse. If they didn't do something, they would have already been in the Stone Age. Like, I mean, finished. They all had to go and rescue their markets by printing $100 billion. What is this week's news? Now, all of a sudden, Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank, Switzerland and Germany are teetering on their collapse. This is why I'm saying everything is interconnected. It's all like a bunch of dominoes that fall over. This is unbelievable. We've never seen action like this ever. And this, I mean, 2007 and 8, right? That was bad too. This is that level, but the numbers are way higher. And so what we're just talking not about companies collapsing or our friends, but countries. It's bananas. And so, all of these countries, what are they doing? They print more money, which means massive inflation. So what do you think is going to happen when Canada gets hit and United States get hit? We're going to go in a lot more money. We're going to print. That's what they always do. Roxy, you're in East York? Awesome, man. You're in my neck of the woods. Okay, wait. Sorry, I've made this mistake before. Are you in East York in London, like in the United Kingdom? Are you East York in my neck of the woods? If you're in Toronto, yeah, give me a call. Write set contact at Rough Team Realty or send me a message or something. We'll get in touch with you. Chicken on YouTube. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. So sorry, guys. I'll jump over to TikTok right now. David, my phone. Oh yeah. I already answered you. You said your Tesla is going down in price. Yeah, Teslas are going to get hit, man. They're not really good for Canada. Yeah, I'm glad that you sold it. They don't have a lot of kilometers. They don't have a lot of kilometers on them. On YouTube, Roxy, how are you, man? Oh, yeah, you're in Toronto. So not London. I made that mistake, man. I put my foot in my mouth. I'm like, we're the only York, Anyway, thank you very much. Hey, guys, I only got a couple days left. Can you believe I flossed my tooth and I broke my tooth? Unbelievable. I look like Dumb and Dumber. Maybe I'm dating myself too. You guys know that movie. Okay, so Manny, sorry, you asked the same thing again from. Listen, so Manny, okay, good question, Manny. He's saying, sorry for asking the same thing again, but homes you mentioned to wait till next year, till Q2, okay? Listen, if you would have asked me 10 days ago, I would never have guessed that China, Japan, and England would have been on the brink of insolvency. And this week, Deutsche Bank and Swiss Bank would have been on the brink of insolvency. I would have never guessed that. So that happened all within a 10, 12-day period. Unbelievable. So I'm saying if I was going to guess today when I would have to wait to see some real action, I would say Q2 of next year. That's when, but when you hear news of countries teetering on collapse and massive money printing, that might actually shorten that window. We might be in Q1. At this rate, if 3 countries are on the brink of insolvency per week, I mean, it could be by December. I don't know. So this is why we got to keep reevaluating. But my guess is by Q2, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be the start of the good time. Remember, there's no perfect day to buy. You got to buy in a time zone, right? So we're going to be like, that's going to be the start of a really good year of buying. Yeah, so over on YouTube, Roxy, yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you coming by. So yeah, you're in Toronto. So to reach me, contact at Rough Team Realty. Okay. Or you can just go to Rough Team Realty, my site. Or you can go to YouTube or on TikTok. You can click the link in my bio and try to book a time with me. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, no obligation. Manny, yeah, you stay away from custom homes. We don't do custom right now. This is not the custom time. Right now is the time to be in your entry-level home. You wait for prices to really, really fall. Look at what happened in Hong Kong. They're saying 30% drop in prices. So that's not going to be unheard of here. We already have a lot of homes that are down 30%. Could go down a lot more. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So once they fall, you're going to exchange your lower price home and jump up to a much bigger home. That's when you're going to call me maybe in March, April, and you're going to say, David, I have a 1-bedroom condo. Now I'm going to flip up and buy a 3-bedroom detached home that's dropped 40%. You know what I mean? That's when you're going to call me. Credit Suisse skipped the 2009 minimum. I mean, there was another one in 2015 by BlackRock. There was one 2019 by the International Monetary Fund. I'm actually preparing to do an entire video on the papers from BlackRock and the International Monetary Fund. Unbelievable. I never saw them when they first came out. I read them years later, but they predicted all of this stuff. Hi, David. What Canadian bank is good to hold your cash? Scotia or RBC? You don't want to lose your cash. This is why you should have multiple accounts. Remember, you're only insured up to a maximum amount. Depends on the country that you're in. So you got to spread it between different banks, and not always just the top 5 banks, but you can go into what are they called? Not co-ops, credit unions. It's $100,000 guarantee on bank account worthless. What's your take on it? Listen, man, they can guarantee all they want, but they don't have the money to back up the guarantees. So that's why some of my accounts sit in silver ounces. So I have one of my accounts that will just say, hey, David, you have 1,000 silver ounces. It doesn't have a dollar figure attached to it. I convert my dollars into silver and I hold my bank account in silver. So whenever I need to pay for something, I convert some of my silver into dollars only at that moment. Otherwise, the bank account sits in silver. Avman, how are you, buddy? Find a buyer for your house. Avman, weren't you thinking about putting your home up for sale? Did you put it up for sale? Avman, did you put it up for sale? The banks only insure $100,000 deposit. How do we protect our cash deposit in case the bank goes under? Don't have it in the bank, TJ. Don't have your money in the bank. Yeah, this is part of it. Hey, guys, so there's a lot that it's way too long for us to get in here on a live kind of thing. But we're putting together a course. Basically, it's the 20 years of financial liberty that I did. And I'm jamming it in from like 20 years into 20 to 30 hours. And you can take it just an hour at a time. There's a lot of basic steps by understanding what intrinsic value is, negative yielding rates. You got to know certain things about the principles of money printing before we can stack the other skill sets on top of them. But in short, we don't keep a lot of money in banks. They dilute with inflation, and their stated inflation is very different from real inflation. So you have to understand what the differences are and what the impact to your money over time is. Because whenever it's 5%, it's not 5% per year, it's 5% compounded. So we have to figure out what that is. So you got to not have a lot of cash in your bank and have it in appreciating assets or defensible assets. Real estate's a very good one. Types of gold and silver. And that's why one of my accounts sits in silver, doesn't sit in dollars. Credit unions. Yeah, that's the one, Manny. Yeah, BlackRock. A lot of people say BlackRock is the one that orchestrated all this. I mean, one of the world's biggest asset managers. You got to look at them a little cross. And they wrote an article in 2015 all about this, how to liquidate government debt. I mean, you can't write this stuff up. It's like out of a Hollywood movie, and they're calling it. So between the International Monetary Fund and BlackRock and the World Economic Forum and the Bank of International Settlements, all of these guys are way above all the other central banks of the countries. You got to go to the head of the snake and understand and they're not even doing it secretly. They all have websites. All of the people on the boards are writing books. Go look at Klaus Schwab. The guy wrote 3 books. I don't even want to tell you what he wrote, because if I tell you, you're going to think I got to put on handcuffs and go to a cuckoo's nest. It sounds crazy. So I suggest that you go and understand who these guys are, the Billionaires Club in Davos, and understand where they're pushing everything. It's like it's foretelling what's going to happen. Bank run coming in Q2, possibly, maybe before. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, conspiracy theory-ish. Oh, we're going to run out of money. There's going to be a bank run. Listen, guys, what about Argentina? What about Venezuela? What about Lebanon? What about all the countries that are having bank runs? Look at a massive economy like China. They locked the banks. You can't get any cash out. Sorry. Capital controls everywhere. So what are you going to do in that instance? Don't keep it all there. Avman, you said, yeah, you put it up on the market, Davidson Drive. Congrats, buddy. Hope that you sell it for a good price. Is it safe to keep money in a GIC given 5% right now? I don't mind a GIC, but I wouldn't put it in for more than a year. Don't lock it in for very long. Manny, you got $100,000 in cash. You know what's crazy is like everybody seems to have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $1,000 in cash these days. The market is flooded with cash, and everybody and their dog is ready to buy real estate. So this is what I mean: is there is a not just an avalanche, like a tsunami of cash going to come for the market. Every realtor I know has 15, 20 cash buyers, all waiting for the prices of homes to come down. Here is the funny thing, though. I've been doing this way too long, but I've seen people, they have cash in the bank and they're waiting as the market goes up. They're still waiting as the markets come down, all the way up again, all the way down. I have lots of it within, because I'm a broker. I got a lot of them that work with some of my realtors that have been looking at homes. I mean, I'm trying to think of the longest one, 6 years maybe, that they're looking for 6 years. So if I had $100,000 in cash, it's not an easy thing for me to tell you. You need an entire wealth strategist to sit with you. Somebody like me, but I don't do the consult anymore. You have to have the proper allocation in cash, emergency reserve, opportunity fund, stocks, treasuries. You need to have the right types of dividend paying stocks. You need to have your opportunity fund solid. And, you need to have your private company set up with all your properties inside of your companies. So, we have 25 different revenue streams coming in through there. You have to set up your whole network. And here's the thing that I could tell you, Manny, what you got to do is look at somebody who is doing very, very well way out here. Once you can find that guy and look at the setup that he has, everything you should do is to go to that section. Don't necessarily, I know that it's going to be step by step by step, but here's the thing. If you just buy it in your name, say a house, and then you have intentions of going and putting it into a private company in a couple of years, well, now you have to sell it and pay capital gains tax on it, all the nightmare paperwork to move it into a company, get new mortgages, and you're going to turn around and say, oh man, I wish I would have done it right the very first day and not cause all this. So the key is find out where you're going and don't make these mistakes like I did for 10 years, taking all the wrong roads. TJ, you said at Walmart, you couldn't find mustard yesterday. Guys, everything is in shortage. I've been screaming this for a year, right? To stock up. So my sister called me, couldn't find any child's Tylenol. There is no women products anymore. Hand soap, laundry soap, and dish detergent are out for some reason. You guys remember that there was baby food that ran out. Remember the toilet paper fiasco? I've went to grocery stores and the bread aisles are empty. There's shortages all over the place, right? And let's get into stuff like computer chips, cars. You can't get it. There's going to be a lot of shortages moving down the road. So get some stuff. Get some stuff is what I would say. TJ, yeah, I would never put $100,000 in GICs. Never. Only put a little bit. Manny, this is a good question. Do you have a wealth guy? I don't. And guess why? Because I looked for over 10 years trying to find one and I couldn't even find one. I ended up having to do it all myself. I did it by reading a lot of books and then piecing it together over 20 years. So it's really hard. There is nobody. That's what I can tell you. I was always looking for somebody. Always. How do I get a house? How do I get a commercial loan? How do I get a property? How do I get a company? How do I put it all together? And bookkeepers and accountants. And I did that over many, many, many years. And so, yeah, there is nobody that I could even suggest. Finding most of the CFPs out there are one track. Yeah. Most of the CFPs, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to knock on them. There's probably some really good guys out there. I've never found one that was any good. Wondering the same as Manny, you need a wealth guy who isn't a CFP. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 26 businesses. Yeah. You're saying for me to open my 26 business, guys, I run 4 businesses, and listen, this is the thing is, um, we're going a little bit off. Like, I am a real estate broker. I am not a teacher that's out there, like I operate and I'm buying and selling properties all the time. We specialize in selling properties. So that's what we do mostly. We don't do a lot of buying anymore, but we sell properties, and that's what we do. See, shameless plug. This is my group. So we do that every day, and I don't have time to do as much. It's hard to find the time. Um, but like our hours, like I already work 7 days a week, and I already work 16, 18 hours a day. Like, there is no more time. So that's why I've had to cut back on the things that we do. But we just filmed our first buyer's course. I got another course that I was working on today. Oh, look. This is the second course that I was working on today. These are all the chapters, the different chapters in the buying gold and silver course. We filmed that one, and got a few more, but I'm working on a mega course. Okay. That one is going to be like the Mac Daddy. And that one's going to be 20, 30 hours. It's going to be very long, but it'll take you from beginning to end. And it's kind of like your wealth strategist and how I did it. Basically, instead of 20 years, you can learn it in a weekend, which to me is, I got to tell you, like, if I had the opportunity, I don't even know how to say this. Like, if I could go and pay somebody $25,000 to teach me what I know now, 20 years ago, my God, I'd pay them $100,000, just because it just takes so long to accumulate it, and you can't find people that are doing it. It's tough. It's really, really tough. But this is the name of the game. This is the game. What will happen to car prices in Q2 next year? Would they go down? Used car prices will probably go down. But listen, we need computer chips in cars. Cars have to have those computer chips. So do all the electronics. The electronics are made with neon. They need neon gas to focus the aperture of the lasers to make the chips. All the neon gas comes from Ukraine. 80% comes from Ukraine. 20% comes from China. So now all the neon is gonzo from Ukraine because they've been blown up. 20% is left over on the Chinese side, and they don't want to give it up. They're not going to give up that 20%. So now you're going to see chips go way up, and there could be very long shortages until somebody, like in North America, maybe figures out how to make neon gas, builds all the infrastructure so that we can get back on track. How long does that take? A year, 2 years, 3 years? I don't know. So I still think there might be shortages moving forward. Real Estate Maz, he says you focus on listing properties. Yeah, that's what we do too. We mostly do selling of properties. Manny, yeah, you see, this is what you said. That's the challenge. Have to research everything. Hard to find people to be a financial architect. This is what I consider myself as a financial architect. I call it money mechanics, and how that we get through all of the different things and put them together. That's the hard part, because it's sometimes easy to find a course or somebody that does this part and this part and this part, but how do they all connect? How do they all work together? That's really, really, really tough. How it connects together is harder than the other side. TJ, the first one, the buyer's course, is going to be available very, very soon, like within a couple days. The gold and silver course should be within 10 days or so. The gold and silver course, I've been investing in gold and silver my entire life. So I started buying my own, when I was like 18, 19, 20. And it's everything that I've learned in gold and silver over my entire life in a 1.5 hour course. And how to get silver and gold in your hand that is reliable and trustworthy. That'll be available probably in 10 days. But the big ass financial architecture wealth class, that one is going to be a while. End of November, something like that, getting into December. Remember that just our filming, the writing of it all takes several months. The filming of it actually goes pretty quick. But the last course that we just did, it took 6-7 weeks of post-production Post-production is ridiculously hard. That's why I'm so grateful. I have Glenn and Tessa and Ray and all these guys and Alexis. They all help me produce all this content. You need a very big team. I can't do it all by myself. Montreal Services, how will you give the course on Zoom or other platform? It's going to be available through one of my websites. You're going to be able to go on there and purchase the course, and then it will give you access to all of like 20 or 30 hours, however long it's going to end up being. I end up explaining a little bit more than sometimes that I had scripted. I go off script. I want to give you as much value as I can. So then you'll have access to it for a year. Or you can just download it if you want. So there's courses are going to be all over the place. So some courses are going to be starting around, I think the shortest courses are going to be like $30, but there's going to have to be some courses that are a lot more. I think the top course is $3,000, $2,900. Yeah, Manny, in the big kahuna, the massive course, a big chunk of it is financial architecture. Yep, I'm talking about multiplex financing in it as well. Yeah. So what I want to do is, because how I started off, I had to research a lot of gold and silver. I had to research how to buy properties, how to buy them inside of companies, inside of holding companies, operating companies, how to get proper property management, how to get proper accounting, how to get proper bookkeeping, and then you have to work all of this stuff together. Then I had to start including other things like getting certain types of policies and insurances on it, all to work together in one massive machine. There's so many pieces, but so let me just tell you, one of the courses that I'm going to be putting in there is going to be about an hour and a half. About that 1.5 hour course took me 40 1 hour one-on-one training courses, and then a 3-day, I had to go for 3 days, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. in a conference center. So 3 full days, 40 1-hour sessions. I had to read 3 books. It took me over 2 years just to be able to condense that into a 1.5 hour course. But you got to be willing to go and do all of that work, right? It took me years just to figure out that one part. And then I take that one part and plug it in. And then I go and find the other parts, and I might spend a year on this and then plug it in and just gaining all of these skills, one after the other. That's what you have to do. Real estate Maz. Yeah. Do you do free staging? Yeah, we do staging. Now, it really depends on the type of property, right? It's not always easy peasy. Sometimes we have somebody with a $3 million, $5 million property. We don't do full staging. We do a split for the staging. Real estate Maz. I don't know why you would refer me your client, but if you're wanting to refer the client, I'm willing to talk to them anyway. Ottawa resident, you said, can't wait for these courses, man. I know Ottawa really well, actually. So what we are doing with the big kahuna package, the big one, that's the one. If you are willing to follow all of the steps and finish the whole course, if you finish the course, then I'm throwing in that you can talk to me for 30 minutes. We're going to set appointments for everyone to ask any supplemental questions that they have. Here's the problem is, many years ago, I started doing consulting, but then I was so full. I had too much time. I couldn't actually even go do my actual job anymore, which is being a real estate broker. So I had to cut it back. Like, I'm already working over 100 hours a week and I just didn't have time for it. So I couldn't do a project anymore where I'm always teaching the kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, and all of the fundamental steps. So if people are willing to take the big course and dedicate themselves to it and learn it, then I'm willing to help them after that, if that makes any sense. So Despocat, I got several businesses. We got 4 businesses, but my wife and I have about 25 or 30 different streams of income, and we've been building them over time. So most of what I talk about here is all of my operating company, which I'm operating as a real estate broker in Toronto. But then what do you do with properties and other streams of income? You have to put them inside of other companies in other locations of the country. Now, some of them I don't talk about. Some of my companies, we mostly focus on real estate here. Yeah, Manny. I think it's going to be an awesome course, man. But the gold and silver course, I think, is really, really cool. I really, really like it. Um, Real estate Maz. Yeah, you said full disclosure, your clients are stubborn and want more than what it's worth. That's like everybody, man. Listen, man, I've been doing this for way, way, way too many years. But every time that a seller wants to sell, they always want more. It doesn't matter if the market is high or the market is low. So I had this client, I'm talking to her. I told her, your home is worth 1.1 million. And she's like, oh, man, fine. I'd be so happy if I got 1.1 million. Remember what I said that we specialize in? We specialize in getting you more money faster and less hassle. We did the regular things that we do, and we got her 1,300,000, 200,000 over. And she goes, okay, 1,400,000. I'm like, man, this is like a day ago, you were like crying, thinking they always want more. It's just how it is. Doesn't matter if you're in a bull market or a down market, everybody always wants more. If you're a buyer, you always want it cheaper. Doesn't matter if we're going up or we're going down, it is. So it's just about understanding what the market is. Like we may want to get bread at a cheaper price or eggs at a cheaper price too, but it is what it is sometimes, right? Yeah, if they're a real headache client, maybe I'm not really interested in talking to them, man. Oh, your name is Desi. PK Jat. Okay. I'll call you Desi, okay? Is that all right? Manny, you said townhouses are retaining their value. Absolutely. Townhouses are doing good. Small condos are being good. I just did a video yesterday. Calgary, the real estate board came out and said, oh my goodness, townhouses and condos are doing great. I'm like, yeah, man, I've been shouting that from the rooftops for a year, right? The smaller the home, the better you're going to do. It's just how it goes. Everybody downsizes. Where do you think everybody goes once they sell their big homes or are forced to sell their big homes? They got to move. And they either got to rent or buy something smaller, right? So you can't downsize below an entry-level home. So the demand for those entry-level homes go up. So high properties come down, low properties come up, and I call that band squashing. Instead of having this many homes to choose from at all these different price ranges, there'll only be a smaller amount of price ranges. Cool, man. If you have any questions on YouTube, you can ask them away. We got some chatty guys over on TikTok, but anyway, hopefully that I helped you guys out. I think that's it. This is going to be my last call for you guys. Okay. I got to get running, man. Time flies when you're having fun. Manny. So this is part of what I go into in my course, but you said I have a 1-bedroom condo that is 500 square feet. Should I keep it till next year? So what do you intend to do with the money? If you were going to put that $500,000 that you sell, you have the 500K, and now you're going to go buy something else that is a better deal with less risk. I think that's good. If you're going to hang on, if you're just going to take the 500K out and go put it in the bank, I don't think that's a good idea. So the question is, you're in an entry-level home in a high demand market. So that's probably really, really good, unless you have a better opportunity somewhere else. Manny, if you were an investor that has investments in Portugal and United States and all over Canada, like if you were that kind of investor, then I would probably say now is a good time to sell it. If you're not at that point yet, though, and you're just working in Toronto, then I would probably hang on to it and wait for you to be able to upgrade it later on next year. So next year, we got to look at this day to day. You're going to give me a call and you're going to say, Dave, man, I saw these big homes come down in price. And then we're going to say, well, your $500,000 condo hasn't gone down at all. So you're going to sell your $500,000 condo and flip up into $1 million property that was 1.9 the year before. Follow me? Hey, Desi, I got it right? I have 125 lot in Malton, rented for $3,000 a month. Should you sell it or hold Sell it or hold bungalow. It's very old. 50 by 125 bungalow. It's rented for $3,000. What's the value of the lot right now? What could you sell it for? Desi, 50 by 125. I would have to check. So Desi, if you want, you could send me a message. Okay. Or right up here, send me a message, 850. Whew. That doesn't make me feel comfy. I'd probably be selling it. For sure, here's the number, okay? If you're at 500,000, 600,000, you keep the property. But if you're in a property that is, at 2 million, 1.5 million, yeah, that's going to sell it. But if you're at an 850 in up there, that's kind of tough. It's not renting for a lot of money. It's not doing very well as a rent to value ratio. So you can either sell it or you can think about other ways to increase the rentability. So what could you do? Could you put a small miniature house out back and rent it out? Could you build a garage on it and rent the garage out to a business? Could you expand the house and put an extra couple rooms on it and then charge extra rent? Like, how can you get some more cash flow out of that unit? Because you're like on that cusp where I'm. It's not a dead yes and it's not a dead no, but I'm feeling uncomfortable. So if you don't, there's some caveats to this, okay? Desi and Tony, both of you, there's some caveats to this. We're in a bad market that's going to get a lot worse. This isn't my opinion. This is RBC, TD, Scotiabank, Goldman & Sachs, JP Morgan. All of them are saying all of the damage is coming. It hasn't even started yet. All of the damage that you've seen is just people can't get qualified for new mortgages. They're all had their pre-approvals for very many months. Once you start seeing all these people having to go refinance all their properties, oh my God, they're going to come into rate shock like you've never seen before. So this is the problem, right? It's either you would never sell an 850 home, put $850,000 in the bank account. That would be crazy. You need to have a place to put that cash because inflation is so bad. You need to have another plan on what to do with it, or else you wouldn't sell it. The easiest way is just probably for you to expand your property and increase your revenue. So let me tell you about one of the properties that we were looking at. This property, it was a historic home, split the property in half, upper and lower unit, but it had a big lot on the back that was subdividable. Split the property in half, put 2 more homes on the back. So now we went from 1 unit on one lot to 4 units on one lot, and it had a garage. In the garage, installed an electronic lift and rented it out to a garage, like a mechanic. We went from a 1 unit property to 5 rent streams coming in on one property. That is how you can keep your property and make it worth money. Yeah, Tony, you're collecting $4,000 in rent, which is better, right? But it's still low. But $4,000, always be looking for ways to increase your rent. Always. Desi, you're saying people are building 3,400 square foot homes in your area. Cool. You're going to buy them at 40% off later. Go drive around right now and pick the one you like. Take your money, buy silver. Jean the Builder, how are you, man? You guys know that I love silver. Silver is amazing. If you want to know where I buy it, you can click the link in my bios. It's the company I've been using for 15 or 20 years. I don't even remember anymore. A really, really long time. But get some silver. But never sell your house and put it all in silver. Anytime anybody on the planet says, do all of this, sell your home, put it all in silver. Sell your home, put it all in gold. Sell your home, put it all in Bitcoin. I don't care what it is. And anytime you hear put it all in blank, stop listening. Stop listening to them. It's so high risk. Don't you ever know that when you're a kid, never put all your eggs in one basket? Right? Real estate matters. You're saying list it. And if you don't get a good value for your home, then don't sell it. Well, you should know what the value of your home is before you even go to list it. Jean the Builder, you said you had 29.60 an ounce this morning. Is that what gold is at today? Woo! Man, can you believe a lot of the gold that my dad bought was $200? I remember buying gold for $900 an ounce. Crazy. Awesome. So, real estate Maz, am I investing in cryptocurrency? I've been buying Bitcoin since 2013, man. Man, am I dating myself now, right? Actually, I wasn't just buying it, I was mining it. We had 20 Bitcoin mining machines in 2013. Way before it was even on the news. Everyone thought we were crazy. Maybe we were, but it kind of worked out so far. This is the thing is you got to just always, and listen, you got to be always buying, purchasing all the time, accumulating, right? But Bitcoin right now is probably going to drop in half. So don't buy any Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like, don't go heavy into this now. If you're going to buy $100 here or there, okay, fine. But Bitcoin's probably going to drop down to $12,000. So I wouldn't be thinking about that. Montreal Services, David, I recommend a book by Tom Wheelwright for you guys. This is just sitting on my desk, so I'll show you. Tom Wheelwright is the accountant for Rich Dad Poor Dad. Tom Wheelwright. Oh, it's backwards for you guys, but anyway, Tom Wheelwright is the guy. But the book is called Tax-Free Wealth, and the principles. He's an American, but the principles that he has also works in Canada. It's the same. Tax-free wealth. Listen, you just got to get into bed with the government. You got to do what the government is asking. The government's asking you for food, energy, jobs, and housing. So just do what the government asks you, and you're going to get really good tax benefits because of that. That's it. Why would you ever cheat on your taxes? That's crazy. Why would you not just pay zero taxes the legal way? You know? Do I still do mining? No, I have some miners, but they're like stupid coins that aren't worth anything. I don't do any Bitcoin or Ethereum mining, if that's what you're asking. I don't do that anymore. Manny, yeah, tax-free wealth. Jean the Builder, you said $29.60 an ounce of silver. Oh, so like $29.60 for an ounce of silver. Yeah, it's gone up a lot, right? I still think it's possible for it to sell. Every single time we have a massive problem in the market, what happens is everybody's selling it. So any coin shop that you talk to, I challenge you actually, call some coin shops in your area and ask them, hey, are people selling their silver coins? And they're going to say, yeah. And then you ask them, what is the answer? Why are they selling it? Almost everyone I've talked to that in the coin community, in the metal community, bullion community, almost everyone I talk to says they're selling their gold and silver to pay for rent. It's the first word out of their mouth. And as people are pushing it onto the market, guess what happens? Prices will go down. We're in a weird spot right now where all the governments that are in trouble, like Venezuela, Argentina, Greece, Lebanon, Turkey is a massive one. They've bought like 300 tons. I think it's 300 tons of gold, if I remember the article correctly. So they're buying it all up like crazy. That's why you're seeing premiums so high. Mr. Warren Buffett is buying gold and silver. The guy who never did. He bought gold and silver, but guess what? Did he leave it in paper? Did he leave it on the COMEX market, like the paper market? No, he wanted it in physical. I want to take delivery of it. So when they take it, they got to pay a premium to get it in their vaults, right? But now they know they have it. Even the guy who didn't ever want gold and silver now is doing it. Desi, you said you bought a $250 $250 gifted my wife gold bar in 1995. She still has it. Nice. Yeah, my dad was buying a lot of these for $200 back in the day. Still has them. Bitcoin Cash the moon. So you guys know that I love Bitcoin, right? I love Bitcoin. It's really, really awesome. I always also like Ethereum, but I don't do Bitcoin Cash. That's just me. It's just not my flavor, man. Robert Kiyosaki has been buying gold and silver for 50 years more. I think he started like 1968 or something. He's been buying silver. He just keeps on accumulating it. Yeah, Manny, good job, man. Now is the time to buy silver. Remember, 70-1 ratio. If silver is selling for over 70-1 ratio and it's like 80-1, and right now it's like 85-1 or something, you only buy silver. So that's a big question, real estate Maz, because you're saying, where do you do with the gold bars? Where are you going to sell them? So you can sell them anywhere you want, any pawn shop, any coin shop. Um, a lot of banks will take it. Like I could sell it within 15 minutes just walking outside of my house. You can even go online and sell them. Anyone who's going to buy from online is going to come with a tester and test it, right? You can sell it almost everywhere. But I have gold and silver in different countries, in different vaults. I have it in safety deposit boxes. I also have a bank account that is measured in ounces, not in dollars. So there's a lot of different places. Manny, yeah, you want to resent. Manny's saying you wish that you could set up a reoccurring PAD, like he wants a reoccurring purchase for gold and silver with them. Yeah, I wish that they had that. They don't have that, but they do, Manny, have the bank account in ounces. It's called pool. So you can still have the bank account. Manny, that's the pool on Kitco. Kitco. Go to Kitco and put your dollars into the pool account for silver. Yeah, exactly. You go to Kitco, you have a choice to buy in physical or put it into a pool. If you put it into pool, you're paying spot price today, but you're not paying manufacturing cost. You dump your money into the pool and it sits in the pool until you need it, but it's denominated in ounces, not in dollars. Anytime you need the cash, you go online, click, 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 send me the check, and they send you the check. Yep. Woo! We covered a lot, guys, tonight. You guys are killing it. Listen, I want to help you guys out. I'm going to try and do a bunch of courses. I got a lot on my plate. I got books, courses, all kinds of stuff that's coming out, you guys, but it's going to be really, really fun. I hope that you're going to do good. Oh, no, Manny, it's not covered by CIDC. It's not. They, by law, they'll have to hold 1 ounce in the vault for every 1 ounce that you put in the bank account. Whereas the bank only has to hold 1 ounce for every 100 ounces that they sell. Crazy town. I would never do that. But CIDC is kind of a joke anyway. Anytime that they ever actually need it, it's not there. The government will be insolvent within a day. So I don't really trust it anyway. All right, you guys. Wish you the very much. Hope that you have a great night. All the best. I'll let you know when the courses and books are coming up. Remember, contact at Rough Team Realty. Contact at Rough Team Realty. Just send me an email there and write course or book if you're interested in one of those two things. If you're interested in selling your home, this is what I do. I sell properties all over the Greater Toronto area. More money, faster, less hassle. As long as we get those 3 things, everyone is always happy. That's what we do. Give me a call. Reach out to me anytime. I wish you the very best. Have a great night. Love you guys. Bye, guys. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you. Have a good night.